Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're embarking on a genuinely profound journey into the ultimate definition of achievement. We're going to be breaking down Chapter 7 of Ryuho Okawa's teachings on success, and we're specifically zeroing in on a concept that just completely flips our modern everyday hustle culture right on its head. It's all about ultimate self-realization. Okay, let's dive into this.
So think about your absolute biggest goals right now. Are you chasing a promotion, a massive bank account, maybe a literal dream house? Well, let me ask you kind of a heavy question. What is the only wealth you can actually take with you to the afterlife? It's a lot to chew on, right? But it immediately challenges our conventional ideas of what it means to be successful. I mean, if we literally can't take our money or our status when our time on Earth ends, what exactly are we working so hard to build?
Well, the framework we're exploring today comes directly from this incredibly profound spiritual guide, The Laws of Success by Ryuho Okawa. And what's fascinating is that the Japanese edition literally calls us to aim to be the true elite. But wait, Okawa isn't talking about corporate elites or tech billionaires here. No, he's redefining the term entirely. He's giving us a spiritual blueprint for a kind of success that actually lasts eternally.
Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at what is true self-realization. Second, 3 approaches to success. Third, 4 stages of achievement. Fourth, the danger of arrogance. And finally, the ultimate spiritual wealth.
All right, starting with Section 1. What is true self-realization? Redefining success.
To really grasp this concept, we first have to totally strip away our normal, everyday, honestly kind of selfish definitions of ambition. We have to look way past merely satisfying our own personal desires and comforts. So, true self-realization is defined as a state where personal happiness, the utopianization, meaning the creation of an ideal society, and contribution to the evolution of the great universe are perfectly harmonized and integrated. Let that sink in for a second. This isn't just about snagging a corner office. This is about taking your personal goals and aligning them directly with a massive cosmic purpose. It's a complete integration of the micro and the macro.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how these 3 core elements actually interlock. You don't sacrifice your personal happiness here. Enhancing it is actually step 1. But it doesn't stop there. That personal joy and success must spill over into creating a better society, what Okawa calls the utopianization of society. And ultimately, that societal betterment has to contribute to the evolution of the universe itself. So true self-realization means these 3 elements are perfectly balanced. Your ambition isn't just for you anymore, it becomes literal fuel for the cosmos.
Moving right along to Section 2, 3 approaches to success, the mechanics of achievement.
Now that we've got this grand cosmic blueprint, how do we actually pull it off, right? We need to understand the real-world mechanics of how to build this structure in our daily lives. So the teachings outline 3 distinct approaches to make this happen. First up is self-effort. This is your absolute foundation, relying on your own intellect, your own action, and your own drive. You simply have to put in the work, but self-effort definitely has human limits. So the second approach is systematization. That means bringing in experts, delegating, and building systems that multiply your initial efforts. And finally, the third approach is gathering like-minded peers. Think of the experts and these peers as your necessary scaffolding. I mean, you can't build a towering skyscraper all by yourself. You need a dedicated team aligned with your cosmic vision to build something that truly lasts.
Next up, Section 3. 4 stages of achievement. The journey of the soul.
We can really look at this as the hero's spiritual journey. It's a structured, developmental arc that takes us from raw, unrefined energy all the way up to continuous, infinite growth. Let's walk through these 4 stages linearly. Step 1 is willpower and guts. Everything starts with a spark, a sheer desire to push forward. Step 2 requires channeling that raw grit into a clear vision and ideals. You absolutely need a specific target. Then, step 3 is figuring out the rational means to get there, so the strategy, the planning, the execution. Now imagine you've done all that. You hit your target, you've achieved your biggest earthly goal at step 3. Most people would just stop, relax, and celebrate. But step 4 is the next development. True self-realization is never stagnant. Achieving one peak simply reveals the next mountain to climb. It demands an ever further expansion of your soul.
Which brings us to Section 4, the danger of arrogance, the ultimate trial. Every hero on a journey faces a boss battle, right? But in this spiritual framework, the biggest threat to your success isn't a bad economy or your competitors. The ultimate threat comes from entirely within yourself, and this brilliantly illustrates that internal battle. On one side, we have arrogance and conceit, ego, self-interest, and stagnation.
When you start achieving success, man, it is incredibly easy to let it go to your head. You start thinking you did it all on your own. This arrogance is pure poison to your spiritual growth. But on the other side is the absolute antidote, the beginner's mind. The teachings stress that we must never forget our original intentions. We have to maintain humility, express deep gratitude for the immense support we've received from others, and continuously seek to learn. Staying humble isn't just a nice character trait, it acts as an active, protective shield for your success process.
This brings us to a really fascinating, punchy phrase from the text: desire without greed. It sounds a bit like a paradox, doesn't it? But it's actually incredibly powerful. See, true self-realization requires massive ambition, a burning, undeniable desire to improve the world and contribute to the universe. But, and this is key, it requires zero personal selfishness. You are intensely driven to succeed, not to inflate your own ego or line your pockets with gold, but to be of greater service. It is literally ambition purified.
Finally, we arrive at Section 5, the ultimate spiritual wealth, the final evaluation.
It's time to zoom all the way out to the cosmic perspective and return to that really heavy question we asked at the very beginning of this explainer. What actually lasts? As humans, we spend so much time and energy chasing temporary earthly wealth, money, status, material possessions. So the crucial point is that when we finish our time on Earth and return to the spiritual world, every single bit of that gets left behind. The only thing you can actually take with you is eternal spiritual wealth, which really boils down to just two things: the experiences you gained and the character you built. The ultimate evaluation of your self-realization isn't your net worth or your job title, it's simply how much you elevated your character during this lifetime. Did you become a wiser, kinder, and more enlightened soul?
Which leaves us with this final provocative thought. How are you building your true wealth today? Are you entirely focused on the temporary, fleeting things, or are you doing the hard, humble, and beautiful work of building your eternal character? I highly encourage you to take this framework of ultimate self-realization and apply it to your own life's journey. Align your personal happiness with a greater cause, stay incredibly humble, and build something that truly lasts forever. Thanks for diving into this explainer with me, and I challenge you to go out there and keep building that true wealth.